This week,
the library's Valentine's Day event,
a dog-inspired profession,
swimmers compete at the Metro Conference swim meet,
and catching up with a former Millard West journalist, all here on the MWHS Wildcat News. Welcome back, Wildcats. I'm Caden Roth.
And I'm Caitlin Reynolds.
Last week, the library celebrated Valentine's Day with a unique way to get students reading. The Blind Date with the Book event was heavily trafficked by students, and the library had to restock with more novels to date. Staff reporters Eddie Shee and Ziandra Zelgado bring you more info.
A few days before Valentine's Day, a new display presented itself at our school library.
A festive display revolving around the concept of blind dating was right at the entrance of the library, grabbing both students and teachers' attention.
To check out, you just find a book that you want to have a blind date with, and then we have a rate your date card. Take this with you. You check out like any other book. Just come on up, and we'll check it out to you, and then you can go and unwrap it. And then after you read it, you just fill out your rate the date card and bring it to us, and we will draw 4 prizes from these cards.
With this theme of going on a blind date with a book, there has been a surge of students wanting to test their luck with a surprise novel.
So far, we've had great feedback from this display. We have probably checked out 25 to 30 books off this display. Students are excited to see what books they get when they unwrap it. They're excited to give their feedback. Just the idea of having like a surprise book has just been fun for them.
When walking into the library, students are greeted by a Valentine's display that catches their eye.
I wanted to check out a book because I thought it was just interesting and a cool way to just discover new books and read new books.
With the blind dating theme being a massive hit, our librarians plan on doing similar displays more often in the future.
I think it's a good idea to get kids involved in the library and check out books and expand their horizons with reading and just become more knowledgeable with books.
Not only does this get students excited about their new books, it brings them outside of their comfort zone to try a book they may have never considered before.
The theater department put on their first performance of Hammered, a Thor and Loki play, last night in the Black Box. There will be 2 more shows, tonight at 7 and tomorrow at 2.
While Hammer tells the story of a bond between gods, our next piece tells the story of a bond with a dog. Allie the Arson dog and her handler David SOBOTKA have been bonding for nearly a decade now. Catalyst and Wildcat News editors-in-chief Evan Vaslow and Morgan Weir tell the story.
Meet Allie, an 8-year-old yellow lab. After dropping out of a service program when she was little, Allie was rescued by State Farm's Arson Dog program.
With arson, insurance has to pay for those claims for that damage. So one way to keep our insurance rates down and to help keep arson from happening, they sponsor arson canine dogs. And they have about 100 of them that they sponsor throughout the U.S. And what the sponsorship is basically a grant program that sends one handler to the state of Maine. They get paired up with a canine, and then they train you both to be a arson team. Then you come back to your city and you operate. So that's basically what happened with Allie and I.
Allie's job is to sniff out accelerants at fire scenes. If she finds any traces, these can be sent to a lab to further the investigation.
Those scenes where you don't know where to pull a sample from, like the whole house has burned up, you don't know where to go to get a sample, that's where she comes in as a specialty. So she will go in, she'll sniff around, and she helps to decide where to pull our sample from.
To keep Allie's work productive, she's constantly rewarded with food.
She's a food reward dog, so what she has to do is she has to work in order to get fed every day. Every feeding is a training, and every training is a feeding.
Because of this relationship with food, Allie is constantly training, even at home.
Her training aid is what we call 50% evaporated gasoline. I get it through UNO. They make it for me. And that kind of puts it on the spectrum of all the chemicals that she could smell. So as long as she's trained on that one odor, she'll be able to sniff out all kinds of different accelerants that are out there. A lot of times we can change the training up to that I will burn material. So she's actually smelling burn material also. So it's like, oh, that's burnt plastic, that's burnt wood. Oh, there's the gasoline that I want to smell, and then she'll alert to it. Try and give that thing a spin. It's different every time, so it's not the same spot. See?
Throughout her years at home, Allie's built relationships with everyone in the family.
She's really playful, especially like with our other dogs. She likes to run and play like tug of war and all that stuff. She's really a happy dog. Sometimes I'll take her like on walks or like just go outside with her, play fetch for a little bit. She likes to be outside a lot.
But nothing can compare to her relationship with David.
Well, the best way I can say it is not many people get to take their dogs to work. So she's not only a pet at home, but she's my partner at work. It's like having another child sometimes, you know.
When she retires next year, she'll be replaced in the arson unit and come stay at home. With MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Evan Vaslow and Morgan Weir.
It's championship season for most winter sports. For more details, we go to Miguel Paredes-Reyes with Sports Corner.
What's up, Wildcats? Welcome back to Sports Corner. The weather's starting to warm up, which means winter sports are coming to a close. Many teams have already or are in the process of ending their seasons. To start off, both boys and girls basketball teams are playing to keep their seasons alive in the first round of districts. The girls will face off against the Omaha Benson Bunnies here at home tomorrow at 6 p.m. The boys will go to Lincoln East to face the Spartans on Monday at 7 p.m. In other sporting news, last weekend the wrestling team competed in their state championship meet where Wildcat wrestler Noah Blair took home the state championship in the 182-pound weight class. Charlie Nozel placed in 6th place and the team placed 18th overall. Although none of the girls placed, history was still made with the first state win in Millard West history with Neve Haskell and Lauren Sash. And speaking of state championships, the Millard West hockey team advanced to the state final after a close game against Creighton Prep. Sophomore goalie Seamus Bygrave blanked the Junior Jays with his 12th shutout of the season, and the Wildcats pulled off the 1-0 win. If they win their game on Saturday, they'll be state champions. If they lose, they'll play again on Sunday in a winner-take-all game. Currently, 23 swimmers are competing at the Swim and Dive State Championship at the Bob Devaney Sports Complex in Lincoln. Before that, though, the team competed in the Metro Conference Swim Meet on February 10th through the 12th. Evan Vaslow and I were there and brought you more details on how the Wildcats competed.
In preparation for the state championship beginning on February 24th, teams from around the Omaha area competed in the Metro Conference Swim and Dive Meet on February 10th. The first competition was diving, hosted by Millard South. The Millard West girls performed exceptionally, with all 4 of their divers placing in the top 10. After hitting the board early on, senior LAINEY Woodward came back strong and ended the meet in first place.
I have really bad knees and they buckled. That's why I hit. So then after that, I had to calm down, make sure I take my ibuprofen, and then I had to do my therapy stretches to make sure my knees were okay. So really my thought process was just that I could still win this if I hit every other dive.
Kate Stoltenberg and Ellie Fulcher placed 3rd and 4th respectively. The next morning, Millard West hosted the prelims for the swimming portion of the meet. This was an opportunity for swimmers to qualify for the finals where they could earn points for their team. 17 Wildcat swimmers advanced to the second day, most swimming in consolation heats, but both the boys' 200 and 400 freestyle relays competed in the finals. The girls' 400 freestyle relay finished first in their consolation heat, earning the team 9th place. In the finals of the 200 freestyle relay, the boys' team of Samuel Kirchner, Carter Heaton, Noah Wilbert, and Quentin Nelson earned 7th. The same relay team was back in action again in the 400 freestyle relay, where they got 8th.
We've been working with that same team for a while now, and I think we've really kind of understood each other and our placements in the water, and also outside of the water. I think we've kind of just got to know each other a little better, and we know our strengths and weaknesses, and that we can use that to kind of motivate each other.
When all the events had finished, the girls ended up in 9th place with 93 points, and the boys ended in 11th with 78.5 points. With the state meet approaching quickly, these athletes have only a few more practices to prepare.
I think they have a great opportunity to surprise the state. We might not be going in with the highest standings like we have in the past, but we're going in with a lot of potential, and if we put the races together that we're capable of, we could have a really awesome state meet.
A wrap for winter sports also means the beginning of spring sports. After rigorous workouts all winter long, these teams are ready for the season to officially start on Monday the 28th. Good luck to all the athletes trying out, and we'll have more coverage on all of them throughout the season. Back to you, Katie.
With most of our winter sports wrapping up, entertainment editor Brenna Batchelder and I caught up with Millard West alumni Andrew Pfeiffer, who's been calling games at the University of Nebraska. He shared with us his journey from Wildcat news anchor to ESPN commentator.
Good morning, Wildcats, and welcome back to the MWHS Wildcat News.
Millard West might recognize a familiar voice while watching various sports at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Former anchor Andrew Pfeiffer has been following his passion of broadcasting into commentating a variety of sporting events for the college.
Men's basketball was my first ever commentating gig for KRNU, and it kind of just took off from there. I kind of threw my name in the hat, and I eventually, once I got started with basketball, I just kept going, and I started getting called up for more and more stuff and more opportunities, and my end goal by the time my college career was over was to call a football game. And I was fortunate enough to be able to not only call one, but two, one of which being with Sam, one of my best friends, and that's an experience that I can't trade for anything, and that's, you know, something that I'll cherish forever, and I'll be able to actually have with me digitally.
Since November of 2019, here we are at Memorial Stadium. You are listening to Nebraska football on 90.3 KRNU. Andrew Pfeiffer.
I would say Andrew's pretty enthusiastic when it comes to just broadcasting, and he's really confident in what he's saying, and he's very easy to work with because, you know, he's willing to work to other people's strengths as well. He's pretty flexible when it comes to that.
Pfeiffer has taken full advantage of the resources and opportunities provided to him at UNL.
He enjoys doing sports that I could never do, like wrestling and gymnastics. He'll go on BTN Plus and, you know, call the game for, you know, those more so Olympic sports, and he really, I'm pretty sure he really enjoys it because he keeps doing them. And so, you know, that's something that's unique. I don't really know of anyone else in, you know, broadcasting here at UNL that is seeking those opportunities out to, you know, go on BTN Plus and get those, you know, more rare sports.
His colleagues, along with other people, have recognized his devotion for sports broadcasting and his dedication to the field.
I've seen him grow in confidence, seen him grow in ambition, seen him grow in ability. Again, you put hard work and intelligence and ambition and talent together, and you get a pretty good performance.
As his senior year of college ends, the connections he made and the goals he accomplished will follow him into his career.
Honestly, I tell people this all the time. If I could do what I do now for the rest of my life and get paid for it, I would be excruciatingly happy. So that would be amazing. But of course, opportunities in the future will present itself.
From starting at Millard West to finishing his education at UNL, Pfeiffer walks away with a strong skill set and genuine love for the field. This has been Brenna Batchelder and Caitlin Reynolds reporting for the MWHS Wildcat News.
Mojo Doman off the deflection as Nebraska takes over, first down and 10.
Before we go, we'd like to congratulate John Schwartz, who was recently named Millard's next superintendent.
That's all for this week. For more daily content, follow our social media and check out our website.
This has been Caden Roth
and Caitlin Reynolds. Have a good weekend, Wildcats.